The other thing I wanted to let you know, and I had started it a couple days ago, but it's now updated. And I made sure everything was correct, I think. But you can look at it now here at the top of our homepage. I have the fifth period schedule and the sixth period schedule. This is just for that period. So it kind of helps us like keep on track to figure out what we're supposed to be doing. Because instead of every day being the same time, it's totally different. Every day is a completely different time, except you just have to look. So, like for example, Tuesday, not even, it's not even the same. So I was looking like these are the same times, but it's a different group of people. So you really need to look at like by your color, if that makes sense. So you should be able to see now which cohort you have been assigned to in Infinite Campus. So if you are cohort A, you're red. If you're cohort B, you're blue. And if you are virtual, staying online, staying at home, you're green. So the truth of the matter is, most of us are green. So you're going to look anytime it's green, that's when you need to go to class. And there are 5 times. So you do go to class every day. It's just you go at different times. And then certain times are different, meaning when it says virtual check-in, it's actually just a 15-minute class. So when we do like a shorter check-in, what I'm going to do is usually we have a longer lesson on Monday and then we kind of build on that. Instead, because of our classes and fifth and sixth period are the same, meaning the days are the same, but the times are a little bit different. But the length of the lessons are also the same. Thank goodness, because I have other classes who it's totally different. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be doing a much shorter lesson or activities on Mondays and Thursdays for both periods. And then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be our normal lessons. And I have been getting more clarification as the day passes, and yesterday too, that you do need to actually come into Zoom on Mondays and Thursdays. So literally, like, we're going to do as close to what we do now as possible, meaning I'm going to have something for you to do every single day, and I'm going to be talking to you every single day. It's just the main difference is there will be an assignment inside of Monday and Thursday that says it's a virtual check-in. It's just because it has to be written a certain way in Canvas for auditing purposes, which has nothing to do with you guys. And I don't want you guys to worry about why does it say this. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to keep it the same as possible to make our lives easy. I don't want to freak anybody out and I don't want to freak myself out. So we're going to try to keep it as close to what we've been doing as possible. So just look up here. I know that if I'm not looking at a specific period, it's much easier to just look at this schedule right here. Let me show you. I put it at the top of this week's module. And we went over it like on Monday and then again on Tuesday. So it's right here. This is all periods combined. But if you want to know, oh, do I need to come in for fifth or sixth period? Like what time? You can literally, like I shared it with other teachers, but not everybody's going to use it. But just go to our homepage and you'll be able to see, oh, this is what time I have to be here for fifth period. I didn't mean to click announcements. So you know. So like, starting Monday, you look at it, we don't have a regular class, we just have a check-in, which means we'll be meeting for 15 minutes, all of us, every cohort, A, B, and virtual, and we're all meeting together from 11:20 to 11:35 if you're fifth, and we're all meeting together 11:40 to 11:55 if you're sixth. And then Tuesdays and Fridays are when things kind of get split up. But remember, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we all do check-in together. It's only Tuesdays and Fridays that it gets split up. And that's only if you're cohort A or cohort B. So if you're A, you're in class with me. And if you're B, you're not in class with me until Friday. The other thing I was even talking to a few students and Miss B about yesterday, I think, was our quizzes. So it looks like I'm still going to keep quizzes on Fridays. It's just that our the bulk of our lesson is gonna be Monday through Thursday. So once I plan it out this weekend, we'll figure it out. But I'm trying to keep everything as close to the same as possible. So yeah, I'll explain it more next week once I try to get the hang of it. It may take a couple weeks for all of your teachers to get the hang of it, including myself. So we'll just work together and make it work, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and look at today's assignment, which is also tomorrow's under modules. Don't forget all of your Romeo and Juliet reading is up here. So we've only read the prologue so far, so that's in Act 1 right at the beginning. But today and tomorrow, your assignment is immersion therapy. And that just means like getting into it to learn how to do it, basically. So the best way to get into Shakespeare's work is really to experience it the way he intended. And he was an entertainer. So the way to understand it is he was like the Steven Spielberg, like that famous director of his day. And he wrote plays so that people could go to the movies, except we didn't have movies back then or projectors. So actors had to put the plays on live. And it would be great to go and see a play because it's a totally different experience than going and seeing a movie. And if you ever have that chance with anything, take it. But if you don't, there's also lots of options. So what I want you to do for this is watch any production of any Shakespeare play, but my rule is it has to be in the original language. That means that I like 10 Things About You too, and that's really an interpretation of Taming of the Shrew with like Heath Ledger, but that's not in the original language, and it's actually not the original play. It's just a take on it. It's an interpretation of it, and that's not what I want you to do. I want you to watch any of his plays, but it has to be in the original language, and you may choose which one you want. I'm not going to force one on you. And if you want to do Romeo and Juliet, go for it, but understand that it's got to be an original language one. That means that you are not watching the one from the 90s with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. They speak some of the original language, but it's completely different. You're not watching Romeo and Juliet either, because they totally change it. I want you to find an original language one. So I would totally recommend starting with a comedy one. It's not sad, you're not going to see a lot of like killing and stuff. It's just easier to understand. But there are lots of great productions, whether it's comedy or tragedy or a mix like Romeo and Juliet, for free on YouTube, or you might even be able to find it on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is that you guys use. If you have like Amazon Prime like me, you might be able to find it there. But your best bet is probably going to be YouTube. But I want you to try looking for Much Ado About Nothing or A Midsummer Night's Dream or As You Like It. And those are all comedies. If you want to try a drama, then try Merchant of Venice, Hamlet, or Macbeth. Or if you're really into like something gory, then you can watch Titus, and the main character is played by Anthony Hopkins in that one. Anthony Hopkins is also the same actor that played Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs and the other films that go with it, but he's way crazier in this film. Try to have other people sit down with you, like your family or a brother or sister or something, to enjoy it together, just to get an idea of Shakespeare. If you can't, that's okay too. But remember, Titus is definitely gory, so it's not one for little ones. And then what I want you to do is take what you chose to watch and you're going to write a journal entry on it. So these are, I can zoom in on this. There's not really right or wrong for this assignment. The only right or wrong things are the first two. Like, what movie did you watch? Tell me what it was. I want you to tell me the two of the main characters, not necessarily. So like Romeo and Juliet has two protagonists, right? We have Romeo and Juliet, obviously. But if you're talking about like Hamlet, the main protagonist would be Hamlet. But then tell me about another main character who played that which actor played that main character. So that's why I did not put protagonist or antagonist in there, because I just want to know two of the main characters and the actors that played them. So you're basically telling me which specific movie did you watch so I can find it. And then the rest of it is all on you. What do you think? So what was the experience like for you? What did you understand? What was difficult? Did you like it? If you didn't like it, why? If you did like it, why? Um, the whole point of this is to try to get used to Shakespeare's language. So I am, however, going to give you one out, not an out, but something to make it easier. Say you choose Hamlet. I had to watch Hamlet in theaters when it came out when I was a senior or a junior with no, I was a senior for sure. And it was in theaters, and the teacher I had in high school offered us extra credit to go see it, and we were like, okay. The only problem is that particular version of Hamlet was 4 hours long. It literally had an intermission at a movie theater. I do not want you to sit there unless you want to and watch 4 hours of Hamlet. That's not what I'm trying to do here. It shouldn't be longer than like an hour to an hour and a half. If you choose to watch the full Hamlet in 4 hours, let that be your choice. But I'm not trying to put that on you. At the max, it should be 2 hours, including what you write. And so if you decide you're going to watch A Midsummer Night's Dream, there's lots of main characters in there, but then you see that it's like 3 hours long. You only really have to watch like the first 40 minutes or so, or choose 40 minutes in it to watch it. Like if you look up what the best part of A Midsummer Night's Dream is and you want to watch that part to try to get into it, that's fine too. Just tell me, I watched from here to here so that it makes sense to you, because the whole point of this is to try to understand the language. We all speak English. So now what we're trying to do is get a grip on the way that Shakespeare wrote and the way that they speak in Elizabethan England. Not necessarily the full-on plot of each thing. Again, like I said, you are welcome to watch Romeo and Juliet too. Just know that we are probably going to be watching excerpts together from the 60s version of Romeo and Juliet. So maybe pick a different one. Pick the newer one with Haley Steinfeld, or pick the even older one. But do not go off and pick ones that have been based on it. Okay. So just as an example, we're going to go into YouTube. And I just want to show you how simple this can be. And when it's something long, for example, like the Romeo and Juliet one, even the 60s one is broken up into several different YouTube videos. So you can choose what you want. So here's another version that was put on. This looks like a newer one because this guy right here looked like Jensen Ackles, which means that it's definitely newer. The Shakespeare in Love one, we watched the bonus feature. That is not one of his plays. So you're looking for one specifically. This is the one I told you not to watch because it's not Shakespeare's language. So what we're looking for is something more like this one right here, or I want to show you the 60s one. These are the characters that play the 1960s version, and this is the original one that I use a lot. So if you want to use this one, you can watch the clips from this Romeo and Juliet, or say you want to watch one of Shakespeare's comedies. So let's look up Midsummer Night's Dream. This one would definitely work. We're not talking like Spark Notes now, because that's not going to be using Shakespeare's language. You want to definitely find one where the people are talking in Elizabethan English. So this one would work for sure. But you could also, and here's like all of Act 1, Scene 1. You could use this one where maybe a drama troupe did it and then put it on YouTube after they had it. So this one was actually done at Shakespeare's Globe Theater in 2013. So this one would definitely work. But again, this is your choice. You may pick any of Shakespeare's plays that you want to. So if you want, you could go in here and put and find like which one you're interested in, right? So this one talks about like the top 10 ones, but like go through and see, which one might I be interested in? And some of them are super complicated, like Othello, but when you watch it, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I saw a movie and it's a lot, so it's very similar to it. It's because it was based on it. Like there's a character in one of Shakespeare's plays, and the character's name is Iago, and he's really evil, but he doesn't seem evil. And the funny part is, if you think about it and you get familiar with that play, and you've also seen Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin, you're gonna know why that bird was named Iago. So a lot of things that we come across in our lives later, or even movies that are just now coming out, have tons of illusions that are referring back to these original Shakespearean plays, which is why I want you to choose, like, kind of look through and see what might you be interested in. So look up Shakespeare's plays and see, okay, this one kind of sounds cool. Like Hamlet comes up a lot because it's one of the more popular ones, but that doesn't mean that it's like the best one. In fact, Hamlet's super duper long, and I personally don't really enjoy Hamlet. But Othello's crazy, and Othello's funner to read just because he's a knucklehead, like he's just a nut, and things that crazy happen in it. So just read through and see what might interest you. Um, don't pick something because you think like I might like it. I don't, this isn't about me. This is about you just kind of getting immersed in the language. Okay, so you do have today and tomorrow to work on this. So we're going to do a quick check-in tomorrow, and there is no quiz, especially because we're doing the whole like switching over starting Monday. So we're just going to do a quick check-in tomorrow on Zoom, and then I will let you guys go to complete your immersion therapy assignment, because I don't expect you to watch a whole movie or even an hour's worth of a play just today. Take your time, and then remember, this isn't, it's due, like I want you to get it done and save your work, but you're not turning it in until next week during one of the check-ins. Okay. All right, hang on just a moment.